comes up, guess what's going to come forth? Stuff that you have already created. We can't do that. And I would say, count to 10 before things that you already put in your mind may come out. So we've got to understand that in that creative process that God has given us in those words, it matters what comes out of our mouth. Jehovah gave his words of substance and ordinance to his people in the Old Testament. And, he gave the law to Moses and said, this is how you need to act. He didn't tell them this word for word what I'm telling you, but they were a primitive people. God was bringing mankind along, trying to instruct them. David said it this way, and I know we think about the law as so hard and all these things, and it was hard for man to do. But at that time, it was God's will. But David said his commandments, whoever it was, and Daniel, the king had all his wise men, and they was listening to the dreams that the king had, and they couldn't figure out what was going on, and finally the steward said, wait a minute, so I know a guy that the Spirit of God is in him. And he said, we need to call him. He can, okay? Then there are words that God has for us. God speaks to us a lot of different ways. But it's a spoken word from God. So if I look over here and tell Sister Rogers, we're going to pray for you. I feel like, the devil's trying to do this in your life, and he's got a trap for you. And God told me to tell her that. I didn't come up with that in my spirit. That wasn't something that I created. That's a direct word from God. So we need to heed things like that. But then there's the devil tries to insert, in your life. And now we give the devil a whole lot more credit than he's due. Because the Bible tells us we're drawn away of our own lusts, our own desires to have what we want, the pride of life, the pride of the eye, and we want what we want, and the devil knows that, so he just throws things out there. He just kind of scatters it out there in front of us and sees what gets our attention. Now the demons keep up with that, because there's some things, Brother Donnie, that bothers you don't bother me. But guess what? Next week the devil